sure. Oh, yeah, we're good. What is up, fight fans? Glove Talk episode. This is episode 34 here, coming after UFC 320, Ankalaev versus Pereira. After we just watched Pereira walk him down like NLE Choppa is walked down
Um,
Ankalaev, and we seen Marab, put on a typical Marab masterclass against Corey Sandhagen. Um, so we're gonna get into these fights. And Jose, what would you rate the card though out of 10 though? Before we get into it.
Dude, I think it was 8 out of 10. Pretty solid card. I didn't see any any flaws in any of it. Honestly, the fights were all really good. The prelims were pretty fun for the most part. There's a couple duds in there. That main card was good. That main card was really good. And the main and co-main, man. Whew. That co-main set up that main real nice, man. And that quick finish by Pereira. Crowd was pretty good too, man. Again 8 out of 10. I think it was a really good card.
Yeah, and then we got that third round out of Yuri Prohaska and Khalil, which might have been one of the best third rounds
Jesus,
we've ever
yeah, I
seen.
forgot
So,
about that.
um,
Oh,
especially after how like kind of bad Yuri fought the first two rounds, not bad, but like not a typical Yuri fight. And then the third
yeah.
round, he just turned the switch. So, um, great
He
fight out
looked
of him.
compromised, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Starting off here with the early prelims. We have Veronica Hardy able to get the decision win over Brogdon Walker. Um, Even though Brogdon Walker was chasing them takedowns, she was able to get a couple. It kind of looked scary for Veronica Hardy at first. She's able to threaten, some of the submissions off her back when she did get taken down. She's able to get up, and then she was able to outclass her on the feet here. So, not the best win for Veronica Hardy. Not really a dominant win, not a finish, but a good enough win from how bad it kind of looked like it was going to start. So, good win for Veronica Hardy, and the struggles she showed in this fight is what we kind of talked about. Her just kind of being small and kind of getting bodied around by these girls. So, she's just going to get more
Yeah, and
physical. So,
yeah. Well, Veronica Hardy even said after the fight she needs to work on like having a kill switch where like she kind of sometimes hesitant to engage, and like there's moments where she was winning in the striking and just wouldn't go in for a finish. Where I thought she could have honestly. But other than that, it was a good fight for her. She definitely showed that she's improving. I think, like you said, definitely needs to be more imposing, right? She gets tossed around a little bit. But other than that, she looks solid. She's now 4-1 since her and Dan Hardy got married. Um, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Veronica Hardy. Again, she needs a test at this point. I think you got to give her a ranked fight in between the 10 to 15 and kind of just see where she's at and see if you can kind of start, feeding her as a ranked fighter in a division, right? That can put on good fights. I mean, Veronica Hardy, minus the size disadvantage, is one of the best technical fighters in women's MMA. Right? It's just the problem has been the mental, the time off, and right the lack of size, right, and being able to impose her will. But I mean, if she can keep this going, man, who knows?
yeah. She's training with Sean Strickland a little bit, so she was giving shout out to Sean Strickland a little bit for toughing her out a little bit in the camp. So shout out to Sean Strickland, I guess, for that one. Going to the next one, our boy Austin Vanderford. I guess we can't rock with this cut because he just ended up getting submitted by Ramirez Brahimaj, man. Just Brahimaj seemed dominant on the ground as soon as it got to the ground game, putting them ground and pounds on him, and then able to submit him, get him out of there in the second round. So Austin Vanderford, a tough loss here. You're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and come back and try to regroup. And for Brahimaj, a good win. He looked dominant. He looked aggressive, and he came out with that fire. So I think Austin Vanderford has the type of he's the type of guy that he needs to warm up in the fight, which ended up hurting him here. So
Yeah, no, I agree, and it was just It was the way he did it, man. Listen, Paige was in the corner. Bless her heart, we got to see Paige Van Zandt, but disappointing for Austin Vanderford, man. I mean, he looked good in his first UFC fight. I think the whole fan base had a lot of high hopes for him. And I'm not saying his career's done. That's not what I'm saying. But this sucked. You're on a pay per view, right? Everybody's looking at you in the prelim fights, right? Come on, man. You gotta be better than that. And for Brahima, like he took advantage of the opportunity. He did what he had to do, and now he put himself out there as beating Mr. Van Zant. So, Mr. Van Zant, Thank you for coming. Thank you for giving us the laughs. Um, please stick to OnlyFans. Makes you more money. So
Going to the next fight, we had Chris Gutierrez versus Farid Bashrat. You know, Chris Gutierrez is a guy who was like an up and coming prospect, but had a couple setbacks now. And Farid Bashrat is kind of like in that spot that Chris Gutierrez used to be in terms of prospect on the up and rising. And Farid Bashrat in the stand up in this fight looking very good, very nice spinning wheel kicks, looking very clean. But his cardio starting to hurt him there in the round 3. And then when Chris realized that, you know, he doesn't fight the best going backwards, he was winning some success. So I had Farid winning the first 2 rounds and then losing the 3rd round. So if Farid can tighten up that a little bit, his fighting backwards game, and then also his cardio, he's a fucking tough guy in his weight division. I feel like he can actually be a threat here because he actually, you know, has some damaging tools, you know, to throw out there. Not like he's kind of like in how Corey Sandhagen used to be, you know, where he's got some
yeah,
tools and stuff out there that he can throw out there. You got to watch out for. You can't just come in on him. So, and he's a good fighter. So I like, you know, Bashrat, even though it says right here in the total strikes he got outlanded, it's probably the 3rd round because the 3rd round he was just tired. So yeah, 23-12 in the 3rd round. So good win here for Bashrat. What you think, Jose?
I think my one knock on Bashrat's always been his cardio, but outside of that, he's good. And same with Chris Gutierrez. Chris Gutierrez is a durable fighter. I think Chris Gutierrez though kind of had a little bit of Cheeto Vera going on, where he just started very slow, and that hurt him, right? Bashrat did what he had to do, right? Got the win. He looked good, man. Just the cardio. Just got to tighten up the cardio a little bit, get a bit more of a gas tank because Bashrat's a guy that the UFC can look at and say, okay, do we put in a 5-rounder on a fight night, right? You got the resume for it, but you got to be able to put in the rounds, you know, um, and Chris Gutierrez has, right? But you know, Bashrat, man, good win. I'm a big fan of Basharat. I like his style. He doesn't really have any holes. It's just the cardio. If he tightens the cardio up, man, I'm telling you, he's a problem in that weight class. Especially now after this Marab Corey fight, Jan probably getting, you know, a title fight next. It's just there's so many moving pieces at bantamweight. So many guys that are moving on, the Rob Fonts of the world, and young guys coming in that a Farid Basharat can make some noise, man. He's young enough for it, right? So I liked it, man. He did what he had to do. Just it looks bad, right? If I'm watching the fight and by the end of the fight you're kind of not there, it's a bad look, even if you won the fight, you know. But other than that, man, I mean, from a mixed martial arts perspective, this guy is very interesting at bantamweight for sure.
Yeah, very good fighter. And tough setback for Chris Gutierrez, but you know he didn't lose crazy amount of stock losing this fight. You know, so
No, exactly.
going
Yeah.
into the next one, we had Macy Chiasson selling us against Yana Santos. This is probably probably one of the most. These are two. By the way, these are 2 top 10 female fighters in the world apparently. And this is probably one of the more boring fights on the card. Um, Yana Santos, upsetting both of us here. I think we both had Macy Chiasson getting the win, but she was able to get the win here. So shout out to Yana Santos, just being tough in the clinch and being strong, and basically that's how she wins the fight, being tough in the clinch and stuff like that. So shout out to Yana Santos. Macy Chiasson, she got to work on her ground game a little bit and her clinch game because we all know how good of a striker she was. But I don't know, she even seemed off in this fight. She didn't really seem as sharp. I mean, to be able to be striking with Irene Aldana, and probably be winning that fight until you got caught at the end, and then coming against Yana Santos and looking like that, I don't know, looking kind of bad. But shout out to Yana Santos for the win.
I could give less of a shit about this fight next.
Yeah, I mean, your boy right here. The next one wasn't this. I fell asleep for both of these 2 fights. I had to go watch them today. The next one we had Punali Soriano versus Varenikov. Punali just taking him down to the ground. Besides like the first 30 seconds where Varenikov was able to reverse him in that first takedown shot he took. Besides that, Punali was able just to be dominant the whole fight, and implement the ground and pound. I mean, if you look right here in the stats, 163 to 34 total strikes. So a dominant win, but wasn't able to get the finish against a low level guy. And then also not really fighting the way that people wanted you to fight. Usually, people thought he was going to go out there and try to go for a knockout. So, but I guess, he's probably trying to prove a point that he probably wasn't trying to burn himself out, and then get his cardio checked again and then, lose a fight based on his cardio. So I guess it was a good game plan, but not the most exciting fight.
I don't usually eat on camera, but again, these two fights I could give less of a flying shit about. It was boring. I wanted to go to sleep. It was horrible mixed martial arts. There's a reason these were on the early prelims.
Yep, going into the regular prelims, we had um, I had a wrong
There we
prediction.
go.
I had a wrong prediction here. We had Edmund Shabazian getting a KO win over Andre Muniz. I think I had Muniz for this fight, but I think you had Shabazian. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Muniz, this kind of reminded me of like Mendez versus McGregor, like that, like where he was like
Yep.
dominating on the ground, and then it kind of got himself tired out, and then got caught with a strike when they were kind of getting up on the fence, and then
Yep.
the strike itself didn't even seem like it hurt him that much, but Shabazian was able to get that good position on top, and then the ground and pound. He was able to get a couple elbows through that really hurt Muniz, because I think Muniz was going to survive until the end of the round, but just the last couple
Mm-hmm.
seconds, that last elbow really took him out. So good ground and pound from Edmund Shabazian, and a good way to come back into the fight after getting put on the ground like that. So good win out of him.
Yeah. And Muniz was fighting a good fight before he got knocked out. Um, and that's one thing I'm gonna say. Like Edmund, I know he won by knockout, but dude, he looked bad in his striking. He looked stiff. His chin was out there. He wasn't really throwing with power. He just caught Muniz clean ish going in and then just got a good position. The ground and pound was fantastic. I will give him that. And Edmund did a good job like defending on the ground as well. But I don't know, man. It wasn't convincing for me. Like it was a good win, but Edmund didn't show me anything. There's still a lot of questions I have about his striking and the angles he takes and the way he stands. Like there's a lot. And for Muniz, I think he could have definitely won this fight if he got out of that first round. It's just, brother, you can't go rushing in. I mean, gosh, we've seen John Silva, right? Aaron Pico lately. Um, even when they were doing the package for Yuri and Dominic, right? I remember that, and it's like that's the problem, man. These flash knockouts, and we'll see later in the card with Santos and you, like that's the problem when you disengage, man. You gotta keep your hand up because Edmund got a good win. It's gonna look good on his resume beating Muniz, but and then no offense to Edmund, he's still young. Edmund's what, 29, 27, right? He got fraud checked already by Derek Brunson. And I think if Muniz got out of the first round, he would have taken him down again and maybe fraud checked him again. But we'll take it. It's a good win. It was fun to watch. It was a fun fight while it lasted for sure. And I don't know what they're gonna do with him and Shabazian. He's fighting these low guys that are fringe of top 15, the borderline top 15 in middleweight. So he can't fight Paul Craig. So there's that. But I don't know.
Yeah. Go to the next one. We had freaking, I don't know what happened to this guy, Patchy Mix, losing to the UFC debut guy, Jacob Voltwis, a guy that trains under Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And honestly, I'm gonna say this right now: the UFC, I prefer taking these like regional first time debut guys who have been under like a UFC like legend or star like in their gym training versus like these
Yeah.
guys who are like who've got a resume in Bellator or the PFL. Like this fight solidified to me. I'm done worrying about anybody else from any other organization besides Dakota DiVincenzo or how do you say her last name?
Dakota Ditcheva.
Yeah, yeah.
Dakota
Besides
Ditcheva.
Dakota, there's not a single person outside the UFC that I give a single fuck about. And this gets proven every single time. You bring them over, and they get beat by guys who are making their UFC debuts. And
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody said. People said robbery. I rewatched the fight today just to watch it again because I thought the guy won, but nah, in my opinion, no, he didn't
Patchy
get
only won
robbed.
one round.
Nah, Patchy did not get
No,
robbed.
Patchy
Yeah, I didn't think he
only
got
won one round.
robbed, so I didn't know why. When I went on Twitter, people
No.
were saying he got robbed. No, he got the only time when he was on top, he was guarding from the guillotine. He was protecting himself from the guillotine. He was
Yeah.
getting reversed, and then when Jacob was on top, he was doing damage, and he was trying to advance his position. There was a completely
Yeah.
difference of grappling going on. Like Patchy Mix was kind of in the defensive. He was kind of in the defensive even when he was on top because that he had to fight the guillotine so much. And Jacob, early in the fight, he was using the guillotine. He was holding the guillotine until he got stood back up with it. Till Patchy Mitch stood him up with the guillotine. So um, that's obviously something that people are gonna be able to look at footage at and see how he fights and sees. That's something that he uses to avoid
Yep.
getting taken down. But um, great fight out of Jacob for his first fight. Just working on that cardio. I think the cardio was the only thing that third round. He kind of got tired and he kind of
Yep.
like settled into the position a little bit. So for Patchy Mix, I don't know, man. I would say it's the weight cut, but I don't know if you're getting dominated in the grappling like that. I guess the guy at bantamweight, if you go to featherweight, it might be worse for you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say
I
it's the
don't think
weight
it's a
cut.
weight cut.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's a weight cut because he's been doing bantamweight for forever now. I think it's just, well, first off, I only had Patchy winning one round. And that was round 3, and it wasn't like a convincing. It was just he Jacob was tired, and Patchy just ended up on top doing more activity. It was a boring round, but you can't. No one in their right mind that understands the sport can give Patchy Mix round 1 or 2. You just can't. I'm sorry. He looks stiff.
he has no
His
bounce.
striking
He
looks
has no head
horrible.
movement, no bounce to his step.
No,
He just walks forward.
dude, he was. If Jacob doesn't pull guard and just strikes with him, he still beats Patchy. That's the crazy part. Patchy Mix, like his striking is like watching Damian Maya now. It's horrible, bro. And this isn't Patchy from Bellator. Well, it is because the last 2 fights in Bellator against Magomedov, Patchy looked like this. That's why he jumped to UFC. That's why he came. It wasn't that Patchy came as a champ. Patchy came without a belt for a reason, right? I don't know what to do with Patchy Mix, man. And I think the UFC's now in a spot where, I mean, they put him on the prelims. They gave him a guy coming out of KSW, right? Good fight, but the UFC was like, okay, we'll ease you into it. They were going to do the same thing with Pitbull, right? On the Paris card. They're going to give him a new guy, just whatever. Dude, who does the UFC put, like, what do you do with Patchy Mix now? What do you do with Patchy Mix?
What other
There's
way do you
nothing.
ease somebody in besides giving him a guy's first fight in the UFC?
Brother, you were a Bellator champion, right? You were all these things. You were 20-2 coming into this fight. You were considered the elite of the elite. Jesus, this stinks, bro. And I'll credit to Jacob. He fought a good fight. There's still some questions with him. The pulling guard, I wasn't a fan of, like jumping guillotine and all that. But other than that, he looked good. I mean, I don't know, man. Patchy, listen, he can't go up to featherweight because can you imagine his head staying on the center and John Silva gets a chance at him? Like, come on, you know. I mean, maybe if you give him a Brian Ortega, maybe. I don't know. I'm done with Patchy.
Nah, Brian Ortega
He,
does him, submits him, bro.
yeah, no, Brian Ortega chokes him out if Patchy doesn't hit him. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing to do with Patchy Mix right now. He's in it, and he did this to himself. He's 100% has a compromised something going on in his lower body that's not allowing him to step the way he does. That's on you. You knew that going into the last 2 fights. He did fight a better fight, but it wasn't cool. He fought horrible against Batista. It wasn't like he fought a way better fight. I'm done with these Bellator guys, man. Michael Chandler, yay. Eddie Alvarez is like the only one that came over and became champion. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? We hype up all these Bellator guys and PFL guys. Impa Kasangane and fucking Olivier Albin Mercier won PFL tournaments after washing out of the UFC. Why are we hyping up these other promotions? I'm not saying you, but just the MMA community, man. It's stupid. This is my rant for the night because it's like this is fucking stupid. Patchy Mix was a name, a highlight reel, cool, whatever. Dog, I'm done. I'm not. Get the regional guys, get the KSW guys, get the Cage Fury guys, right? Get the LFA guys. Like, what are we doing? Anyway, sorry, just
Yeah. Going into the next fight, we had Daniel Santos. A fight I predicted to upset Joe Sung Yu. And Joe Sung Yu, I mean, he looked good in this fight. It's just that
yeah,
when he just ended up going backwards, with his hands down, and Santos was catching him. After all that taunting that you did in the first round, but that first round, man, you looked good, man. The striking, the distance, kind of looked like old school Connor a little bit with the bounce to his step a little bit. I would just say that he focused a little too much on only going first with kicks, not enough jabs. I feel like
right.
he goes first a lot with kicks, and then he's waiting for counters with his hands. I feel like if he jabbed a little bit more, he would have got more reaction with his feints in the second round. Because Santos in the second
Yeah.
round just like stopped respecting his feints all in general and just went forward and then caught him with the high combo count at the end of a couple punches. So a good win from Santos out of the shoot the box camp. And for Josung Yu, is this the guy? Is he training with Korean Zombie and shit?
I think so. I think it's him. Yeah.
So he's got to go
He's
back
one
to
of
the
them.
drawing
There's a
board.
couple of them.
He looked good in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
fight. He just made a bad mistake, like a Wonder Boy versus Buckley type of mistake, a fight where you're
Yeah.
winning and you just make one mistake on an exit and it costs you a lot. So, for Santos though, good win, man. And this guy's tough, man. I'm telling you, he's got everything.
Yeah. All credit to Daniel Santos, man. He stayed calm and composed in the eye of the storm, and Yu Sung Yu, like you said, first round, he looked great. He looked really good in the first round. I think, like you said, that when he starts with his kicks, man, the problem is when you start with kicks and wait for counters, you're inviting the other guy to then take up the space, right? That you create by throwing a kick instead of a jab. Whereas with a jab, you can move forward with the feet as you're punching and take up space and control the foot battle. Right. And a guy like Santos, who eventually just started going forward, he's not going to respect your space because you're not winning the hand battle. Right. And we'll see that with like Yuri and Khalil. Like the thing that kept Yuri in the fight was winning the hand battle. Right. Daniel Santos, I think winning the hand battle kept him in the fight where when you saying you was taunting him, everybody can say, oh, he made a miss. But it's also like, oh, Daniel Santos just stuck to his game plan, which is he wants to kick, I'm going to punch. And sometimes you got to fight that way. Let a guy get flashy, let a guy lead with his kicks and think he's a kickboxer, and then just catch him on an exit, right? And it was a nice knockout too, bro. The way he fell and everything, it was whew. But for you saying you, man, I mean, he fought well. It wasn't like he fought a bad fight. Some fight was also a catch weight, and so I'll give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt, but he's got to go back to the drawing board a little bit, man. Just you can't be doing that. That's elementary mistakes in the UFC. But going for Daniel Santos, man, and shout out Shoot the Box, man. Hopefully they become what the fighting nerds thought they were.
Going into the next fight, we had, oh my God, the middleweight Francis Ngannou, Antiba Gutierrez versus Tristan Vines. And this nigga, Tristan Vines, goofy as hell, motherfucker, just starts off the fight just running, basically, not wanting to engage at all. Basically conceding the fight, basically, in my opinion. Yeah, they're saying, he's waiting for opportunity to shoot and make it into a grappling game, but I don't know. I don't know how you shoot a takedown when you're going backwards, running around the cage the whole time. I don't know. I've never seen somebody shoot a takedown going backwards. And then Gutsiba, when they did get into the clinch, I think those couple elbows he landed hurt him really bad. Before that, I think that knee, when Vines, she shot from a really far distance, and Gutsiba landed a mean-ass knee. I think that had him hurt off rip. And then when they got in the clinch, he landed a couple close elbows. And then right when he landed the elbows, you can see his legs wobbled, bro. And then
you see how stiff he got when he threw him off?
He hit him with this, bro, around his neck, bro. Just threw him off of him and then just slept his ass, bro. And one of the more, this is kind of an embarrassing way to get fucking bodied. Like, he basically just manhandled you. He basically just little boyed you, like big bro versus, like, little bro shit, like. And this guy is a fucking demon, bro. This guy is fucking. He's the real deal, bro. He might not have the best cardio probably, but we didn't get to see. But you could see he wasn't going too crazy. He reserved himself. He understands that people's goals to beat him are gonna be to take him down or to make him tire himself out. So he wasn't really throwing nothing too crazy. He was waiting for the opportunity, and when he did get the opportunities, he landed everything he threw. I swear, he landed everything he threw. The knee, boom, landed it.
He did.
He landed that right hand, and then when he got in the clinch, he landed the elbows. He landed everything he needed to land. So, he might be a little bit more advanced than Francis was. Francis had to learn to not get himself tired, and he had a couple fights where he got grappled up a little bit. So, but we'll see. I don't know. He's in the middleweight, so he's gonna get tested. That's probably one of the toughest divisions ever. You got Chimaev at the top of that division. So, but I really think this guy. I don't know. I want him to go to the top fast. So I say give him Joe Piper.
Not a bad fight. I was gonna ask if Marvin Vettori had a fight book.
No, I think Joe Piper versus Marvin Vettori is gonna happen. Honestly.
That's not bad. I don't want to shoot too high, but I about to say, when's Adesanya coming back?
Bro, I was thinking that when I was watching, because I rewatched it today. I was like, damn, bro. I honestly, in the future, if he shows a couple more fights, him and Adesanya would be kind of crazy.
Bro, like this guy's a tank. First off, Tristan Vines. Where do I start? Like this guy literally ran around the cage for about 2 whole minutes, bro.
Cut this nigga.
Just, but please, please. The one time he shot for a takedown, got kneed, clinched, elbowed, got elbowed stiff, and then thrown off like a little kid. Like, brother, what are we
He was
doing,
10-3.
bro?
He was 10-3 with all three of his losses knockouts. It's not really, the best guy to put against Gutier and expect, him to win.
Yeah,
But
I also want to know what trash cans did Tristan Vines be on the way to the UFC.
yeah, bro, I don't
Like,
cut this nigga, bro. If you're gonna
yeah,
show that type of
and
manhood, bro, fuck out of here. You gotta go
and
fight that
and
motherfucker, bro.
Atiba Gautier, bro, his body type reminds me so much of Kamaru. It's scary.
Yeah,
Like just muscle on muscle. But then the scary part is he 100% could go fight at light heavyweight as well. And I'm not going that far in the future, but I'm just saying like this guy's
no, he cuts a
ripped.
lot of
And
weight.
then
He cuts a lot of. He probably is a light heavyweight, honestly.
he's like black Alex Pereira, bro. Like just he touches people and they die. And he's just like abnormally big and strong for that weight class. Like first off, to grab a guy like this and shimmy him
Oh
off like
shit! The
that.
whole time I haven't had it on this fucking screen, nigga. Sorry, we can keep going. Sorry, keep it going.
Fuck. Nah, man. Tito Gautier, man. He's going straight to the top. I like him a lot, and hopefully Dana doesn't beef with this Cameroonian future champion. So
Yeah, no. What are you trying to say? He beats with all of them. He hasn't beef with Usman or Adesanya.
he beat no the Cameroonian future champion.
Oh, Cameroonian. Yeah, Francis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they might bring it back for the White House card if if Tom Aspinall starts his Cyril Gane. We'll see. But going
Yeah.
into
What
the
the
main
fuck was
card,
this fight?
we had
What was this
a
fight,
boost
man?
versus Joe Pyfer. And this is probably the first fight where you actually see that Joe Pyfer, trains with Sean Brady. He was able to take the back
Yeah.
and submit a boost in a fight. I don't know. So Boost didn't really fight the way that I'm used to seeing a Boost fight. Usually he's a very aggressive guy, but Joe Pyfer, man, coming out with a point to prove. He was aggressive this fight, was able to drop him, and then able to get the submission. After, he was trying to force a couple of takedowns early on, and he got a couple of them stopped by a Boost. But, he was able to eventually get the back and submit the guy. I think he just had him hurt really bad with that right hand, honestly. And a Boost winded out. Which is weird because a Boost, I mean, I think Joe Pyfer seen what Sean Strickland did to a Boost, and he was going to try to do that, but you're not Sean Strickland, bro. You don't got the boxing skills or the volume.
No, for sure.
But he definitely put the pressure. So, good win out of Joe Pyfer.
Boost has horrible cardio, man. He hasn't fixed that, and you can tell. Like it just the first round he looked all right. He looked great. He looked all right. Second round, man, he just crumbled and withered. Like reminded me of the Strickland fight, but like this isn't the first time a Boost has had cardio problem. Not only mental fortitude or cardio, I can't tell at this point. But good win for Joe, man. Got the neck crank. It was nasty. Didn't even get the arm under the chin as well. Got the choke. I'm asking what this fight was because it's like, dude, a Boost like looked good in the first round. I don't know what happened. Like
I'm telling you, he got hurt with that right hand, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree, but that's why it's like he didn't have to be in that position though. Like he makes dumb mistakes. And
he
credit
didn't
to Joe
fight,
Pyfer,
he didn't even fight the choke hand, bro. He wanted out, bro.
Yeah. And shout out Joe Pyfer, man. He's getting back to his old ways where he puts on the pressure and now he's adding the grappling to it, which is clean grappling. He looked pretty good as well. You can tell it, like you said, you can tell he's training with Sean Brady. Yeah, I mean, good win for Joe Pyfer, man. Got his 50K as well. I'm interested to see what they do with him in middleweight. I think Gautier and Pyfer would be a good fight. I also think Pyfer's due for
Vettori.
Marvin Vettori. Yeah, Marvin Vettori type of deal. Or you can bring Paul Craig out of retire. No, I'm kidding.
Damn, bro. Let Paul
No,
Craig
man.
just retire in peace, bro. Damn.
Bro, listen, man. Paul Craig is getting all the ladies on Scotland right now. But nah, man, it was a good way to start the main card, though, for sure. And I'm glad Joe Pyfer took his opportunity on the big stage and did something with it for once.
Yeah, good win out of Joe Pyfer.
Bo Nickel, you watching? You watching, Bo? You
Going
watching?
to
This is what you do. Bitch. Sorry.
that'd actually be a good fight too. Oh, Gutier versus Bo Nickel.
Jesus. Duh, brother.
Yeah,
Brother. That's a murder.
that's the way to test to see how good Gutier is at going against a wrestler and cardio. And then we're gonna see if Bo Nickel fix the problems of going against a guy that actually can do something to him. But
Yeah. I love this next fight because you hate this guy, but
on the next fight we
talk
had a
about it.
fucking high pitched voice bitch Yusuf Zalal versus Josh Emmett, able to get the submission win here and call out Lerone Murphy in a fight that he's never gonna get, and probably secure himself in he's probably gonna get a contenders fight, which makes.
He's getting
Ugh.
Diego. He's getting Diego.
Honestly,
Yeah,
give
he's
him,
getting Diego
give
or
him Arnold
Yair.
Allen, bro. Give him Arnold Allen. My man Arnold Allen will fuck him up real quick, bro. Josh Emmett, you did all that training with TJ Dillashaw to get submitted by Yusuf Zalal. No, but all seriousness though, I think Yusuf Zalal just seen what Yair Rodriguez did to Josh Emmett, and he's like, okay, he's not that good in someone's guard, so he was able to submit him that way. So
Yeah. The Lerone Murphy call out was beyond stupid. I don't think he has that fight yet. Shut up, dude. No offense, Diego. I love Diego. They're not giving Diego that
this
fight.
fight had no strikes thrown.
No strikes thrown, dude. No strikes thrown. Yeah. Yusuf got in and out quick. And it was a good sub.
That's actually the best way to get out of a fight with Josh Emmett, though. Not even to have to throw any strikes. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, man. Just put the pressure on, and I think you're gonna have to do Yusuf Zalal versus Diego, or
No, I think Yusuf
I don't know.
Zalal, Arnold Allen, bro.
Well, no. Here's the problem, because Zalal might have a point with Lerone Murphy because Movzar is still there. Movzar and Diego might have to get rematched. Yair Rodriguez is still floating around up there. And Yusuf has kind of shown
He
that.
does not have a fucking point. Hell no. Lerone Murphy.
No. Lerone's getting the fight. I'm just saying.
Lerone Murphy deserves a title shot 1B. It's either Mozart or Lerone Murphy. Mozart is 1A.
But then what do you do with the other guy? What do you do with the other guy?
Okay, they're not matched yet, so you hold on to both until you make that fight.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I think Lerone was the bad call out. Diego Lopez was in the crowd. He should have called out Diego Lopez.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want
Which
that
I know
smoke.
why he doesn't, because he doesn't want that smoke. Diego can grapple and knock his ass out. So fair. But
honestly,
and then
bro,
also,
I wouldn't be surprised if they give Yusuf Zalal like fucking Gene Silva. Don't even give him like somebody above.
Yeah, I agree. But this is my other question. Now that this fight's happening, I'm gonna bring up a fighter who wasn't in this fight. Yair Rodriguez, where the fuck have you been the last 6 months?
That boy thought he was getting that Mexico card, boy. He thought, bro, that's so funny. He went from thinking he was getting that Volk title fight to now he's like three people behind.
He said, Sean and Hunter promised me this fight if I beat Patricio Pitbull Freire at 37 years old making his UFC debut. Yair, this is why the fans don't like you. You're an idiot. You're an idiot, dude. Anyways, and then he's quiet. Like, nobody cares about Yair now. I mean, Movzar has fought less than Yair, and we care more about what fight Movzar's getting. Jesus, dude. All you had to do was take the Diego fight, be a good boy, get your money, go fight in Mexico or in front of Mexicans or whatever. Like, now I can successfully say Yusuf Zalal has shown me more about getting a title fight than Yair Rodriguez by beating Josh Emmett instead of Pitbull. Okay.
I mean,
so I don't.
Yair has a Josh Emmett win either too, though. So I don't know. And Josh Emmett was younger.
Yeah, Yair's a bitch. Anyway.
Going to the next fight, we got Yuri Prohaska able to get the KO win over Khalil Roundtree after being down 0-2, and a lot, or maybe 1-1. I don't know. It depends on how you scored the second round. But after being around 0-2, flips the switch and just channels the old Yuri and goes in and just demolishes Khalil. Unless this was part of the game plan, because I really do think this could have been part of his game plan, is to make Khalil tire himself out by being active and moving around, running around, and getting away from the whole fight. But Yuri, just that third round, that's probably one of the best third rounds I've probably ever seen. in MMA in terms of just fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times you see, a fighter's down 0-2 rounds and he fights the third round still safe, or the same way he fought the
Mm-hmm.
first couple rounds, just because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of guys are like, I'm just gonna go give it my best, and they want to just see how they are skill for skill. Yuri's not like that. He is how we want these guys to go when they're down
He was
0-2.
ready to die.
It's either you or me. He realizes, okay, I
Yeah.
have to get a
Yeah.
finish. Okay, I'm gonna go and get a finish or get finished, which is how all these
That's
guys
right.
should fight. And you know what? I'm calling Yuri the most exciting UFC fighter, overtaking Gaethje in my opinion, because I don't think
agree.
we've ever had a bad Yuri fight. And
No.
but for Khalil, he fought a really good technical fight. I think he kind of fought the same way he fought Jamal Hill. Super super technical. At distance, at range. Muay Thai. But just Yuri just didn't do what Jamal did. He didn't keep trying to fight technical, and he just went forward and he said, "Fuck this shit." And also, every time they were
Yeah.
like in a time to reset, like after some combinations and stuff, that little front kick he was throwing to Khalil's body, I feel like that, over time
Yeah.
did a lot,
Yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
that was zapping. That shit zaps a
Yeah.
lot of energy out of you. So I think that was just zapping the air
Yep.
out of him over time. So, and this is bad to see, Khalil to lose that way again, kind of similar to the way he lost to Pereira, where he's taking a lot of damage. It's bad to see, within a couple years to take two fights, that much damage in two fights like that. It's kind of bad, and it's bad to see because that's kind of like the way you kind of know you can beat Khalil now. Is just tire him out and then get him beat up at the end of the fight. So
Yeah.
you just got to make sure you put the volume out there. Good win out of Yuri though. I think they probably do the if Alex goes to heavyweight, I think they do the him versus Olberg interim title fight, or they do the title fight for the vacant belt. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, first off, Yuri, shout out to him. I think Yuri's right leg was definitely compromised. Like you could tell because he usually switches stances and he couldn't this fight, right? His right leg was like done. And he still found a way to stay in the fight. I think Khalil's cardio it's compromised, man. He loads up on his punches and kicks so much that the difference with Pereira doesn't load up. Pereira like throws it and he lets his technique carry the power. Khalil like has to throw a lot behind it to have power. And he does have power, but you can see even after the first round, he had his hands up on the cage. He was tired. I don't want to call Khalil Roundtree Odie Osborne of light heavyweight, but
What, bro? That's not even a close comparison. Bro, what kind of comparison is that, bro? What the fuck?
And I'm gonna tell you why.
You're on
I'm gonna
drugs,
tell
bro.
you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Nah, bro, you on drugs, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That was fucking
I'm
faded.
gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Khalil is technical. Odie Osborne can be very technical. Why is the cardio gone? And why is it that when they get to the third round, they just crumble? And no credit to Yuri. Yuri did the right thing. The same way, what did Alex do in Khalil fight? Went to the body. You said it. That front kick to the body bothered the crap out of Khalil Roundtree. Bothered him, right? And then just when the barrage came on, man, Khalil he didn't know, he wasn't throwing anything when he was getting put in the clinch. And I'm talking like not against the cage. Muay Thai clinching on like just out in the cage.
Yuri
bro,
had like
in the
6
open.
straight uppercuts to the body with a collar tie.
Yeah. And the elbows, dude, and everything. And like Yuri is a problem, right? I think him and Carlos Ulberg is a great fight because Carlos Ulberg is
Nah, bro. I watched the Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Carlos Holberg where he knocked out Carlos. Nah, Yuri bodies Carlos.
No, Yuri would beat him. I'm just saying. I think Carlos Ulberg is a good fight for him, though. I think it'd be an entertaining fight. I think Yuri wins though, because Carlos Ulberg is a worse Khalil Roundtree when it comes to the striking, and that's why I say Khalil. If Khalil isn't that good in striking, the fight would have been over.
I
the
say
first
Carlos
round.
Ulberg is a worse Alex Pereira.
Yeah, I agree. But no, I mean, listen, great win for Yuri to do it the way he did it. We've never had a bad Yuri fight. I mean, Jesus, he's won 7 bonuses in 8 fights in the UFC, which is insane.
Wait, what fight did he not get a bonus in?
Might have been the second Pereira fight, I think.
Oh, where he lost to Pereira. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, where he got head kicked. Yeah. It's either the first or second.
Yeah, the bonus to the nigga that lost that shit too.
No, I think like it was one of those fights. I don't remember, but either way, yeah, Khalil just he didn't fight right. Like he wanted to fight technical with Yuri. He hit Yuri a couple times. You're not gonna knock him out that way. The only way to get Yuri out is to take him to the ground and neutralize his striking and his ability to scrap. And I'm not saying he would have subbed or knocked out Yuri on the ground, but dude, Yuri's just so
Or
unorthodox.
at
His
least like
striking makes no sense.
throw those fucking mean ass fucking kicks to his knees or some shit. Do something, bro.
Yeah, he
Like he
threw it a
was
couple times, and it bothered Yuri, and he stopped throwing them for some reason.
like or like focus the calves more. I thought he was gonna focus the leg kicks more. Like he did get some in, but I don't know. He was just fine. He was just too fine with Yuri just coming forward with like no defense. Like Yuri's little weird ass jolt movements and his little. He put his hands up. He just throws his hands up randomly at random times to make it look like he's doing defense. His defense is trash, bro. You gotta. Just, I know he's trying to bait you to get into the fight with him, but you gotta give him something, bro. There's something that you can hit him with something. That's why Pereira knocked him out. Pereira just kicked him in his shit. Like he's like, okay, your trash ass defense. You think I'm worried about that? Boom, head kick. You just gotta be. You gotta trust your power. That's the thing. Khalil doesn't. Khalil has enough power to knock out anybody, but he doesn't trust himself enough. That's what I feel like.
and that's why I was gonna ask you because you texted me something during this. What do you think about the coaching in this fight?
In this fight,
Yeah, because Khalil's coach, man.
I mean, his game plan was good. His just the last round, it's Yuri's just a demon. I feel like his. I mean, it worked against Jamal Hill. It almost worked against. I think just Yuri and Pereira are just two guys that it's not going to work against. But I think anybody else in this division, maybe not even Ankalaev, but besides those three, I think he can that striking. He could beat Rockage in a striking match with that style that he fought Yuri with.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
that Yuri and Pereira are just different guys. They're guys that are going to come forward. You know, they're gonna fucking hunt you down, and they're also the only two guys in the division that are massive compared to Khalil. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, and you can't knock out. You can't knock out Yuri or Alex.
like
and that's
those
been
guys are
proven.
fucking huge, fucking light heavyweights, bro. They're huge light heavyweights, which is crazy.
And they eat shots. Like the fact that Alex is the only guy to knock out Yuri in the UFC, like, come on, that should tell you something as to how you can't fight a technical fight with monsters like that. You just have to go for it and put them out. You know.
Yeah. I mean, Glover could have knocked out
But-
Yuri if he didn't, chase the guillotine. But
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
going into the co-main, we had, maybe the bantamweight go. I think so. Some people think he needs
I
a couple
agree.
more. Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. In a fight where Corey Sandhagen had a very good first round, but besides the first round, I think it's all Merab. All Merab here, and I don't think Corey fought any type of way that he was talking like he was going to fight. And I think we need to have a serious conversation about Trevor Whitman as a coach in these big fights, because I mean, obviously you got Usman, but besides Usman, you got Gaethje, you got Rose, you got Corey here in these big fights. Throwing away some of these fights and then us going away looking at the game plan, like what kind of game plan was that? It just feels like Corey fought Merab the same way everybody else fight Merab. Like he didn't really bring anything extra to the table. He was just able to get up from all the takedowns. But I mean, we've seen Peter Yan get up from like 50 takedowns, so we've seen that before. We didn't see any new type of elbows or anything. I don't know. I just feel like everybody's fighting Merab the way Merab wants to fight. You're gonna have to change it up and do something different. You're gonna have to bring a tool to the game plan, something to hurt this guy or do something, because just sitting there trying to do point fights with him, trying to be a better mixed martial artist than him, is just not gonna work. You're gonna have to find something. I don't know. Corey, I don't know. He had a good first round, but I don't know. And then to know you're down those rounds, and then the fifth round, he did hurt Merab, but I don't know. But you didn't fight like Yuri. Yuri was down 2 rounds, and we seen how he fought. He went and got that shit. You're down a couple rounds, you gotta go and get that shit, and that's a championship fight as well. So I don't know. And a couple times you hear Trevor Whitman Merab blitzed Corey, and Corey closed the distance and then got into the clinch with him. He said, "Oh yeah, we like that collision." And then right after that, Merab takes him down. I'm like, so you're telling him you like that collision? Your fighter, you like that collision, and it's getting him taken down. Like, terrible affirmations. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, listen. First off, all credit to Merab Dvalishvili. The man almost knocked out Corey Sandhagen. That's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
That's an
Like, what?
insane,
People are shouting, talking about
bro.
Trevor Whitman. Like, bro, you got Corey Sandhagen as your fucking fighter, and he almost got knocked out by Marab. Like, fuck out of here, bro.
Bro, and listen, Corey has fantastic defense when it comes to grappling, right? Especially against the cage. But here's the problem. Even when Marab struggled to take him down, Marab's not stopping. Marab's just going to keep trying to take him down. That's why I didn't understand Trevor Whitman's game plan of fighting up against the cage. Because, like, Marab's not going to stop. You can stop 4 takedowns. You can stop 20 takedowns. Marab's going to just attempt 40. What are we doing? And then when he caught Corey and almost knocked him out, I'm like, even if Corey gets out of this, you almost got knocked out by Merab Dvalishvili. And that's not a disrespect to Merab. It's just he's not a striker. And now he's turning into one and hitting guys and fighting good in the stand-up. And it's like, congratulations, everyone at Bantamweight. You helped create a monster. Like, and all Corey had to do was put pressure on him. And Corey did it in little spurts. That's the problem. And see, even with Usman, because you said Usman, right? And it's true. Whitman was a good coach with Usman. Remember the third Leon fight? That's the problem. That's where it kind of started with Trevor Whitman. Dude, these game plans make no sense. If it wasn't for Gaethje head kicking Poirier, we would have so many more questions about Trevor Whitman right now.
Yeah, it's not even a game plan. Like, that's just a technique that worked in
exactly.
the moment. Look at Gaethje versus Holloway. That game plan was fucking terrible.
Corey Sandhagen versus Umar, right? Corey Sandhagen versus Petr Yan. Where it's like, dude, Corey is talented. Here's the problem. Corey is so lanky and tall where it's like, these guys are showing height doesn't matter. What matters is your grappling pedigree and how strong you are in your cardio. Jesus, dude, Merab blitzed him over and over and over and over. And listen, Merab Dvalishvili in my book.
Corey threw no head kicks.
No, he tried to throw flying knees, which Merab ate it and said, okay, takedown. Like, I don't know, man. Listen, Merab to me is the bantamweight GOAT. I know people want to see 5 more defenses, I mean, out of him. And I get that, and I respect it. The man's a bantamweight GOAT. His resume is insane. He's probably going to fight Petr Yan again and beat Petr Yan again. And that's not Petr Yan is trash can. He's not. He's fantastic former bantamweight champion. We're just looking at a guy who is like an Anderson Silva or a GSP, where like they get one division and they're going to run that shit for the next 5 years at least. Who at bantamweight is beating Merab Dvalishvili?
Only one guy.
I'll wait.
Only one guy, Umar.
And look what happened.
Hey, it was a close fight, bro.
You know,
it was a close fight.
It was, but Merab still did his thing, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he wasn't threatened in that fight to get finished at all. That's the thing. Nobody's
and
threatening to finish
better.
Merab in any.
No.
I haven't seen Merab. When's the last time he got finished? Almost got finished.
Ricky Simone.
Cejudo.
Ricky Simone.
Cejudo landed the
Ricky
right
Simone.
Hand? Or Marias?
Well, yeah. Well, Marias, the Ricky Simone fight, he got choked out at the end, but he was winning that fight. Marias, he almost got knocked out and came back. Cejudo kind of caught him, and then Merab picked him up like a child and ragdolled him. Like, even Sean O'Malley did nothing to Merab, dude.
Kicked him to the body. That's it.
Yeah.
To the body, but
like,
that's just something where you just got to run around a little bit and then you're good.
And all credit to Merab. Listen, he's getting better as a fighter. That's the other scary part. He looks better every single fight, Devon. Oh my gosh.
It's that confidence,
is
bro.
nuts.
If you just know that nobody has nothing for you, you know.
Yeah, my best friend Aljamain. Aljamain, best bantamweight in the world. I used to give him crap for not fighting Aljamain. Now I see the vision. Jesus, dude. They were just like, yeah, we're going to create this little monster real quick and then release him on the world. Why not?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I mean, they found him on looking for a fight. They found him on looking for a fight.
Yeah.
He wasn't like took it from another division or another league.
So here's my question. Corey Sandhagen, you've been moaning for a title fight for years. You got robbed against TJ. I'll give you that. Whatever. Cool. Now what? We gave you the title fight.
Yeah,
now what?
That Sean O'Malley fight's looking hella good right now. I ain't gonna lie.
I agree.
The White House, Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen at the White House.
Yay. Love it.
I mean, hey, put it on the feature prelim.
Sean better have red, white, and blue hair color.
Right, bro. I'm saying you see the vision going into the main event. Oh my God, bro. Fight. I didn't see this going this way, but I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad we're on this timeline. Alex Pereira walks down Ankalaev with no respect. In the first 3 seconds of the fight, we all knew how the fight was ending in the first 3 seconds. The stance that Ankalaev had so much I can't fucking think right now. So much he did so good with in the first fight. Pereira comes out, leg kicks him, makes him switch stance right away into the stance that he didn't have so much. Which stance was it again? He fights or switch stance, right?
He had success in the orthodox in the first fight, and then he had switched to southpaw.
Yeah, made him switch southpaw, and as soon as he had him on southpaw, you know that everybody's worried about his left, but catches him with the right, gets him to the ground. Ankalaev tries to shoot to the ground, and then with some vicious elbows him to the head a little bit. Ankalaev covers his head, and then you see him with some vicious elbows to his fucking rib cage. I think I seen that they said that he broke a couple of his ribs. Some mean ass elbows, ground and pound. Gosh. I mean, imagine Alex Pereira on top of you throwing, 12 to 6 elbows 12 to 6, bro. So spamming 12 to 6 elbows on you. Oh my God. I mean, Ankalaev fans were trying to say it was an early stoppage, but hell no, he was wobbly even when he got up. Bro. He was wobbly even when he got up, bro. He got bodied, bro. And Alex Pereira may be setting up maybe a big Tom Aspinall super fight if Tom Aspinall is able to go out there and get the win versus Ciryl Gane. Or even Ciryl Gane. I would even like to see that. Ciryl Gane versus Alex Pereira wouldn't be that bad either. No grappling. So we know Tom would probably shoot on Alex. So maybe Alex versus Ciryl Gane, a full stand-up fight. That would probably be pretty interesting. So we'll get to see what happens. He gets to set that up, and he gets the belt back. Maybe making himself the second best light heavyweight of all time. Motherfuckers trying to say that he's the best light heavyweight of all time. Fuck out of here. There's a guy named John Jones that's still alive, bro.
John Jones.
And we all know John Jones could fight him right now and body him. So let's be honest. So,
yeah, John Jones is forever the best light heavyweight of all time. People need to stop.
I do think Alex Pereira does have the chance to, if he's able to get 3 belts, put himself there on the Mount Rushmore. As being the only guy to get 3 belts in 3 divisions and to fight the guys he's did and to knock them out. To avenge all his losses or to have wins over guys who have beat him, So,
dude, he's beaten 6 UFC champions.
Only one bad fight. His only bad fight was the Jan Blachowicz fight, I think.
Yeah, which, dude, he's been 6 UFC champions, Devon.
That's what I'm saying. The former champs, he's beating them. So,
bro, and first off, Magomed Ankalaev. I had a lot of doubts about you before the first Alex fight. Alex was injured. We found out later in the first fight. You can tell because I've been validated in all my questions about you. What was that? Bro, the way he shot for that takedown, it wasn't even a shot. It was just like a mercy. Like,
that was survival, bro. Hey, he didn't shoot for a takedown. He was hurt, bro.
Brother, first off, Alex Pereira, I'm glad Ankalaev beat him the first fight. I'm glad Izzy knocked him out that one time because he comes back more pissed off. I love it. This guy came out there and even when he got on top, it was good grappling. He got a great position on top and said, I'm not looking for an opening. I'm just going to elbow through your guard and just.
Nah, the elbows to the ribs, I'm telling you, bro. The elbows to the ribs is really what got him the finish. I'm telling you, Ankalaev probably would have been able to do something to, stop the finish. You,
my man said Shama, bro.
6 elbows to the ribs. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. He broke his shit, bro. I'm telling you, bro. 100%.
And that, Alex Pereira, man, congrats to him. It was a great fight that he fought. He went out there, he walked him down and just
broke both his feet.
You know what's crazy? In any other position, you would say, hey, let's do a trilogy, right? But this was such a bad loss that I don't want to see a trilogy, dude.
I'd rather give Yuri the trilogy. Does. If I'm gonna see a trilogy, I want to see the Yuri trilogy.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yuri lost both fights, and I'd rather give him the trilogy, which tells you a lot about Magomed Ankalaev going into this fight, right? And how unlikable he's made himself. Even the comments where he said he was gonna send him back to a tire shop or whatever. Like, brother, like, what? Humble yourself. Humble yourself, bro. There's a saying that like a guy isn't a champion until he defends a belt, right? Humble yourself, man. Congrats to Alex Pereira. I'm excited to see if he fights Gon, if he fights Aspinall. Either way, we're gonna get we don't know how much longer we got Alex Pereira, but I'm glad we got him. I'm glad we get to live in the Alex Pereira era for sure.
So I think that's gonna do it for the breakdown for this podcast. We got Oliveira versus Gamrot on the next card. We'll break that shit down.
Alvarez.
Break that shit down for you guys. You know, we got Davidson Figueiredo, Montez Jackson as the co-main. We'll see if Montel Jackson can, put his name up there as a top bantamweight in this division and maybe, throw his name in the mix for a contender fight. So we'll see. We'll see that next time with you guys. Oh, we got Joneta Dinez versus Pinto. So we got a couple of good fights here. A lot of Brazilians.
Luke Alvarez is a good fight.
Damn, this is Brazilian loaded to the T. Okay. Yeah. So we got a couple good fights. We got
Walter
Walker. We got Muhammad Usman versus Walter Walker. You already know what we're doing, bro.
Dog, who is the worst brother of a UFC fighter out of these two? That's what we're gonna find out.
Bro, Walter Walker is nice. Fuck you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Walter Walker's better than Johnny Walker, bro. Fuck you talking about?
I know. Muhammad Usman, come here, brother.
Yeah, if Usman beats him, bro, I'm gonna be crying. I ain't gonna lie. But you already know this is what we got our eyes on, bro. This is the fight, bro. You already know this is the fight we got our eyes on. So we'll see you guys next time. This is Glove Talk.
Austin Vanderford, you suck.